So I decided today that I'm actually going to take a break from the negativity and talk to you about a couple things that I don't hate, like I led you to believe that I was going to do last time. I'm going to talk to you about my favorite books, movies, games, and bands. I'm going to do it quick so that this video doesn't take too long, so I'm not really going to be able to elaborate too hard on why I like the things that I like. You're just going to have to roll with it, and maybe I'll do in-depth videos on them later. So, first off is movies. My favorite movie of all time has to be Empire Strikes Back. I couldn't even tell you all the things that make that movie so amazing. Coming of age story, perfect. Good guys lose, perfect. Leaves you feeling emotionally rattled, perfect. You have no idea what's coming up in the next one. If that's where you stop, then you have one of the most somber endings on such a great film ever. And there's just not a whole lot I can say about it without having to make a whole new video, so moving on. My second favorite movie of all time is actually going to be Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I know it's kind of weird to stick such a random sci-fi movie in there, but I just think that it's a perfect ending to the story that was created in the first movie. Everything's really well shot, well framed, well done. I just really wish that they hadn't made a 3, 4, and 5 that kind of sullied the reputation of the movie. Next up, my third favorite film of all time actually comes from a franchise that I don't really talk all that great about all the time. The MCU, Marvel Studios, Captain America, The Winter Soldier. I love that movie so much. Everything about it is so well done. It's well written, well staged, well acted. Everything about it is just phenomenal. There's subtle nuances throughout the entire thing. It really shows you how big that this universe is about to become, and it all keeps it really, really well grounded with well choreographed fight scenes. Next up is going to be books. I'm going to start with my favorite book of all time, which is going to be The Invention of Hugo Cabret. I thought that there was just something really neat about the nuance ending, how meta it was. I'm not going to spoil how it ends here, but if you want to go pick the book up, I highly recommend it. It's a fantastic read start to finish. Second, I don't really like this franchise all that much anymore. I kind of feel like I got past it, but Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix is a very well-written book. There's something about, you know, Voldemort's back. You can finally feel things were building towards some sort of conclusion. It's really well done, well paced. I like the writing. I liked everything about Order of the Phoenix. That's really the standout from the series for me, though. Moving on to my third favorite book, The Talisman by Peter Straub and Stephen King. You knew there had to be some Stephen King in here. That book gives you such a sense of dread and suspense when you're reading it. Have you ever been nervous to turn the page of a book? If you have, then you've probably read this. If you haven't, then you really need to. I'm not going to tell you what happens in it. I just suggest everybody, if you can read, go read The Talisman. It's going to take you the entire summer. Perfect project. Next up is band. So I'm going to start with my favorite band of all time. That's going to be Gorillaz. It took a long time to decide. It was always battling with Fall Out Boy in my heart, but the most recent albums, Humans versus Mania, no competition whatsoever. Gorillaz takes the cake. Next up is actually going to be Daft Punk. Probably kind of predictable if you know anything about me. I mean, ever since Kanye West released Stronger about 11 years ago, a couple years after that, I went down, I had to track him down because I had to know who did the harder, better, faster, stronger, work it, make it, do it, makes us, because that's just so catchy. And I've been listening to them for the last few years. They're great, they're amazing. Can't wait until their next album. Random Access Memories was amazing. Next up, little lesser known band called Caravan Palace. If you don't know who they are, they're an electro swing band based out of France. They're not as big as they deserve to be. Their music is amazing. If you've never checked them out before, I highly recommend that you go. You listen to Lone Digger, Beataphone, and Tattoos. Those are some of my favorites. I think it'll really get you into them. Alright, so last but not least, we're going to move on to games. And my favorite video game of all time, if you know me very well, you already know Shadow of the Colossus. There's just something about the way that the story is presented to you. A lot of it's open to the imagination, but they give you just enough hints to where no matter what you come up with, it's not absolutely ridiculous. And I think that they really tightened up the gameplay and the controls and the visuals on the PS4 version, which I do think is a definitive way to play this game. Second off, my favorite game, besides that one, is going to be Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. I love that story. The gameplay is amazing. They really tightened up the controls the second time around. And that train scene, if you've played the game, you know exactly what train scene I'm talking about. That is amazing, especially back on the PS3 when it first came out. Now, my third favorite game is going to be from a franchise as well, Assassin's Creed 3. American Revolution, going around chopping people with an axe. Need I really say more? I don't know if that's necessary. So that's just a brief rundown of a couple things that I like. I'll probably get into Captain America, stuff like that, way deeper later on. But as of right now, that's just a quick thing that teaches you a little bit more about me if you wanted to know. If you agree with me, let me know in the comments. Leave a like, leave a subscribe if you're new here. Share it around. Please, I'm starving. I need the ad revenue that I'm not even getting. But that's pretty much all I really want to say. So go ahead and roll that outro, future me.